Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Snow. Nice to see you here. In my previous video, I told you that I'm an economist, and today I want to share my story with you. How did I get here and how do I become an economist? I feel like lots of people have some misunderstanding about economists. Most people I talk to, they either think that economist is accountant or they think that economist is very good at investing their money, which I feel like we're neither. First, economist is not accountant, and maybe in our courses we learn accounting 101, but it's not one of the major things that economists do. And economists might work on project that's related to budgeting, funding, but we're looking at from a much broader lens. And then the second, economists know how to invest. This is definitely a false statement because I know myself, I'm not very good at investing my money. We're not financial advisors. According to Wikipedia, economist is a professional in the social science discipline of economics, and this individual may study, develop, and apply theories and concepts from economics and write about economic policy. Within this field, there are many subfields, ranging from macroeconomics analysis, microeconomic analysis, behavior economics, game theory. And I know that I sound like a nerd right now, but it has been a dream for me to become an economist since I was grade 5. And I was reading this book called Poor Dad and Rich Dad. And at that time, my aunt was just giving me this book to read for fun. And after reading the book, I was really attracted by the economic theory that the writer talked about in his book. I guess at grade 5, I didn't know that how I can use economics to make policy change, but I just know that, oh, this is the direction I want to pursue. And naturally, when I graduate from high school, it's the time to decide, oh, which subject I want to be majored in the university. So I chose statistics. At that time, I really want to get into economics, but economics was a really desirable subject or major in China. So with my score, I was only able to get into stats. And I know that statistics will be a very good foundation for getting into the economic field. I graduated and I still know that I want to be an economist. And this is where the opportunity arises. I remember in 2013 that when I graduated from university, I applied for a few schools in Canada for the Master of Economic program. I applied for University of Guelph and Lakehead University for their Master of Economic programs. And I got into Guelph for agriculture economics. Lakehead University is in north of Ontario. I guess when I applied, I didn't know Thunder Bay was so far away from Thunder Bay is the city where Lakehead University is at. I have some family member in Toronto and I thought, oh, I just apply any school in Ontario, it'll be close. The drive was 10 hours and even with a flight, you have to fly for almost 2 hours in order to get to Thunder Bay. I really enjoyed my time at Lakehead, despite that it's really far away from Toronto and it's super cold in the winter. What I like about the program at Lakehead is that Lakehead is not a very well-known or popular school. Not that many people willing to travel that far to go there. And my entire cohort was about 12, 13 people with my program. And it was only 1 year and you have to finish a thesis at the end. And within that 1 year, we took 8 courses and it ranges from mathematics, economics 1 and 2, and then macro, micro, and environmental economics and fiscal policy as well. All those topics definitely helped me to get to the job market. It's a smaller cohort. We were able to build that connection with our professor. They pretty much devote most of the time to us, and we were able to hang out every Friday afternoon, go to a bar and eating nachos and share beer together. It's hard for me to imagine if I applied for bigger schools such as University of Toronto or University of British Columbia, then the cohort is about 100 or 200 students, and then I can't imagine that the prof will hang out with the students after school hour like that. So I really appreciate this opportunity to study there. I felt like I learned a lot during that year, and it was also good for me to learn like English in that environment. In terms of like the economics part that I learned, I feel like most of the mathematical economics, I learned the theory in statistics already, so it was easy. And it was the part about like the government policy, the fiscal policy that has been taught by one of the prof. Like he taught it in a way that's more suited for the Canadian policy, which was really helpful. Also, it's that professor that I remember when I almost graduated from the school, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll apply for internship or applying for temporary jobs like in Ontario. And there was a think tank near Thunder Bay and they were doing economic policy. I think I was even thinking about applying there. But then the prof said, oh, actually, I know another think tank in Vancouver. They're hiring for summer interns. And are you interested? I can make that connection. At that time, I was like, oh, in Vancouver, like, where's Vancouver? It's so far away from Thunder Bay. It's in another province. Should I even apply? But I felt like, oh, well, I don't have anything lined up, so I might as well try. And other professors said, oh, Vancouver is pretty. You're going to love there. So I applied. I have never thought I will get it because I would imagine they will want to hire people from University of British Columbia or Simon Fraser University. Like, Lakehead is like, who will hire this girl from this no-name school, you know? And I was so surprised when I got the call from HR. They said, we want to set up an interview with you. That was my first interview in Canada, and I remember it till this date. I was very nervous, and I also don't know how this interview in Canada works. I prepared as much as I can. At that time, my English is not as fluent as now. I just pretty much nodded the most time and said, yes, I can do this, yes, I can do that. And I noticed one of the interview panels was falling asleep during the interview. He was yawning. So I said, oh, I definitely did not get this. To my surprise again, I actually got the call back from HR said, oh, they would like to hire you as the intern. I was so surprised. And then I joined the think tank. I was helping to do some basic economic analysis and policy analysis. After my 4-month intern, I talked to them and told them that, oh, actually I really enjoy the work here and it has been a dream come true for me to be able to work for, you know, a policy think tank, and this is where I want to be. And they extended my intern for another year. And I was able to work on some of their major policy papers. And I also did lots of data analysis and worked with, you know, Statistics Canada's data, worked with OECD data, and I was able to learn as much as I can during that 1 year and to show that I actually have potential and I can bring value to the company. After that 1 year, they hired me as a junior economist. It was my first time feeling that, oh, I'm actually an economist. It was a really great experience. And I felt like I learned a lot. I was able to work on fiscal policy, healthcare policy, labor policy at all government level, like federal, provincial, and sometimes even municipal. I was able to learn a wide range of government policy as well. And it definitely helped me to anchor my next job as a senior economist. And after quitting my job with the think tank, I went traveling for a while, just because I felt like I need a break. After that, coming back to Canada, I felt like I really want to get a job from the government. The reason is I felt like it's harder to make the change from the outside world. And I feel like if I can be an economist within the government, maybe I will be able to make the change faster or to use the data, the analysis in order to inform policy making. So I applied for lots of jobs within government and I finally got in. Started as a policy analyst and then quickly went to get my job as the senior economist. It wasn't easy to get the job from the government, and it's because that I was applying as an external applicant and I didn't really understand the rule of how you interview. What do you need to say during the interviews in order to have a higher score? So it took me many tries. I would say I applied more than 50 times in order to get my job. That's why I started my interview coaching business, and I just want to help them to get into government if they are interested. As the senior economist, I kind of feel like, oh, my work is diving away from economics, more focused on healthcare policy and more on data analysis. Being a senior economist with the government, it really makes me proud, and because sometimes my analysis is actually being used by the policy analysts who are implementing or who are making the policy decisions. It is the 10th year that I'm in Canada, and I feel like I've realized my dream. And I also want to share some tips if you also want to become an economist or data analyst. What are the things you need to pay attention to? So first, it would be great if you have a bachelor or master degree in economics or computer science or statistics, and it just shows that you have the basic skills in order to become an economist or data analyst. The second thing is that I think it's super helpful to have a good mentor, good professor, or someone who can guide you through the way. At that time, I felt like, oh, I wouldn't have become an economist in such a quick way without my professor. If you can make that connection with someone, with your professor or someone in a think tank or someone in the government and who are already in the economist role, and if you can learn from them and get some experience, learn some skills from them. And the third thing is if you see any data analyst or economist type of role, and if you are interested, I would encourage you to just reach out to the hiring manager and apply for the position, get a better understanding of the position. And then my next point is, sometimes people think that economists and data analysts, as long as you're good with math, good with the tools that you use, then you'll be very successful. But then I feel like as economists, you also have to convey your opinion, communicate with stakeholders, communicate with your clients. So communication skills is also key. Last but not the least, even if you didn't have the opportunity to go through formal education as the economist or data analyst, if you're interested in the subject, there are so many resources now online on YouTube or on Coursera, those type of platforms. You can learn how to code in R, in RStudio, in Python, interactive tools such as Power BI, Tableau. I think that'll be it. This is my journey. How did I become an economist or data analyst? And I hope this helps you. If you have any question or if you have anything you want to chat, please leave a comment. And if you like this video, please give the thumbs up. And if you want to see more of those content in the future and want to talk more about how do I interview, then subscribe to my channel and I'll share more content. Thank you for watching. Bye.